Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. We welcome to our online learning initiative Ekaleva. Today's class is on the first part of the lesson, the 100 Races Part 1 from CBSE 10th English. Children, how do we judge the people around us? Yeah, we judge the people by their money, wealth, and by their possessions. But one thing we should understand, the appearance can be deceptive. Can you recall any proverbs regarding the judgmental attitude of the people? Yeah, all that glitters are not gold. Don't judge a book by its cover. Do you get these proverbs in your mind? Yeah. In today's class, we are going to see the true experience of the author about a young Polish girl. The story revolves around Wanda Petronsky, the young Polish girl who goes to school with other American children in an American town. They see Vanda as different and tease her. The Hundred Races Part 1 is written by Edso Esther. Now let's see about the authoress. Elsa Esther was born in Westerhaven in 1906. She was also called Eleanor Estes. She was a career librarian and author who wrote 20 classic children's books in a lifetime, most of which based on her childhood in small town Connecticut. Among other awards and honors, Estes' book Ginger Pie won the Newbery Medal for Children's Literature and the Middle Moffat Rufus M. and the Hundred Races received the Newbery Honor. Estes died in 1988. Now let's see the line-by-line explanation of this lesson. Today, Monday, Vanda Petronsky was not in a seat, but nobody, not even Peggy and Madeline, the girls who started all the fun, noticed her absence. It was Monday. Vanda Petronsky was not in a seat. She was absent, and nobody noticed her absence. Peggy and Madeline were the two girls who used to make fun of her. Even they did not notice her absence. Usually, Vanda sat in the seat next to the last seat in the last row in room 13. Room 13 was her classroom, and she used to sit in the seat next to the last seat in the last row. She sat in the corner of the room where the rough boys who did not make good marks sat, the corner of the room where there was most scuffling of feet, most roars of laughter, and when anything funny was said, the most mud and dirt on the floor. She used to sit in the corner of the room, and that is the place where the rough boys used to sit. And these boys would not make good marks at all. And that place would be with more scuffling. Scuffling means the dragging movement of the feet. That place would be with a dragging movement of the feet, and the boys would laugh aloud when anything funny was said, and there would be more mud and dirt on the floor. Vanda did not sit there because she was rough and noisy. On the contrary, she was very quiet and rarely said anything at all, and nobody had ever heard her laugh out loud. So Vanda used to sit in the corner of the room, in the last row, where the rough boys used to sit. It doesn't mean that she was also rough and noisy like those boys. On the contrary, she was very quiet. In fact, she was very quiet and she used to speak very less. And nobody had ever heard her laugh out loud. And nobody had seen her laughing loud. Sometimes she twisted her mouth into a crooked sort of smile, but that was all. So whenever she smiled, she used to twist her mouth and she used to give a crooked sort of smile. That was all. Nobody knew exactly why Wanda sat in that seat, unless it was because she came all the way from Buggins Heights and her feet were usually caked with dry mud. So all that they knew was, and she came from the Buggins Heights, her feet was covered with dry mud, and that was the reason why she sat in that last row. But no one really thought much about Vanda Petronsky once she sat in the corner of the room. So when she started sitting in the corner of the room, nobody even bothered about why she was sitting there, why she was sitting with the boys in the last row, and why she was not sitting with the other girls. The time when they thought about Vanda was outside of school hours at noon time when they were coming back to school, or in the morning early before school began when groups of two or three or even more would be talking and laughing on their way to the schoolyard. So we saw that nobody in our class bothered about Vanda, why she sat in the last row. And now when they thought about Vanda, they thought about Vanda outside of school hours. It means at noon, after the lunch break, when they were coming back to school, they thought about it. Also, in the morning before the school started, and they would be standing in groups, two in a group or three in a group sometimes, they would be standing and they would be talking and laughing on their way to the schoolyard. Then sometimes they waited for Vanda to have fun with her. And that time they would be waiting for Vanda to have fun with her. The next day, Tuesday, Vanda was not in school either, and nobody noticed her absence again. The Monday she was absent, nobody noticed her absence. Even on Tuesday, the next day, also she was absent. And even on Tuesday, nobody noticed her absence again. But on Wednesday, Peggy and Maddie, who sat down front with other children, who got good marks and who did not track in a whole lot of mud, did notice that Vanda wasn't there. Peggy and Maddie, they used to sit in front with other children, and those children used to get good marks, and they did not track in a whole lot of mud. It means they did not They didn't leave behind the mark of mud. So they did leave behind the mark of mud like Vanda. So did notice that Vanda wasn't there. It means and Wednesday only, and Vanda's absence was noticed by others. Peggy was the most popular girl in school. She was pretty. She had many pretty clothes and her hair was curly. And Peggy was the most popular girl. She was very famous in her school and she was beautiful also. And she had many pretty clothes, many pretty dresses she had. Her curly hair added her beauty. Maddie was her closest friend. The reason Peggy and Maddie noticed Vanda's absence was because Vanda had made them late to school. They had waited and waited for Vanda to have some fun with her, and she just hadn't come. And sometimes they used to wait for Vanda to have some fun with her. Likewise, on Wednesday also, they waited for a long time for Vanda to have some fun with her, but she didn't turn up. So that made them to be late to school. So that time only they realized that Vanda was absent to school. They often waited for Vanda Petronsky to have fun with her. Vanda Petronsky. Most of the children in room 13 did not have names like that. They had names easy to say like Thomas, Smith or Ellen. They often waited. Whom does they refer to? They refers to those girls. And sometimes those girls used to wait for Vanda Petronsky. Why did they wait? They wanted to have some fun with her. That's why they waited for Vanda Petronsky. And the children in room 13 means in her class, they had small names that were easy to say and call, like Thomas, Smith, or Ellen. But they thought Vendra Petronsky was a big name and was funny as well. There was one boy named Bounce, Willie Bounce, and people thought that was funny, but not funny in the same way that Petronsky was. There was a boy named Willie Bounce. They thought that it was funny, but it was not as funny as Petronsky's name. Wanda didn't have any friends. She came to school alone and went home alone. And as she did not have any friends, and she went to school alone and she went home alone. She always wore a faded blue dress that didn't hang right. It was clean, but it looked as though it had never been ironed properly. So she used to wear only one dress that was a faded blue. That was her faded blue dress, and that didn't hang right. It means that didn't hang right means didn't fit properly. So she used to wear somebody's dress. So that's why it didn't fit properly. It was clean, but it looked as though it had never been ironed properly. So it looked, though it was a faded one, it was clean, but it was not ironed properly and it was crushed. She didn't have any friends, but a lot of girls talked to her. Sometimes they surrounded her in the schoolyard as she stood watching the little girls play hopscotch on the warm, hard ground. She didn't have friends. We know that she did not have friends. But still, a lot of girls used to talk to her. Why do you think they talked to her? Yeah, they wanted to have fun with her. They wanted to make fun of her. That's the reason they wanted to talk to her. Sometimes Venda Petronsky would stand in the schoolyard and she would watch the little girls playing hopscotch. What do you mean by hopscotch? Hopscotch means it's a game in which children hop into and over squares marked on the ground. So, so you can see this picture. These small girls playing hopscotch and hopping into and over the squares that was marked on the ground. Wanda, Peggy would say in a most courteous manner, as though she were talking to Miss Mason, and she would call her name Wanda, and she would say in a most courteous manner, no, most in a very polite manner, she would call, and she would say something. And when she was talking to her, as if she was talking to Miss Mason. Miss Mason may be one of their teachers. Wanda, she would say, giving one of her friends a nudge, tell us, how many dresses did you say you had hanging up in your closet? So Peggy would ask Wanda how many dresses she had said that she had hanging up in her closet. At that time, she would give one of her friends a nudge. Nudge means this is what nudge, a gentle push. If anybody wants to make fun of others, they would give this sort of a gesture. 100, Wanda would say. 100, exclaimed all the little girls incredulously, and the little ones would stop playing hopscotch and listen. And Wanda would also say very politely, 100. And other little girls, though they are surprised, exclaimed, and they would not believe. Incredulously means showing unwillingness to believe. And at that time, all the little ones were playing hopscotch. They would stop and they would listen to her. Yeah, 100, all lined up, said Vanda. Then her thin lips drew together in silence. And all the little girls were surprised to hear that she had 100 dresses. And once again, Vanda told very strongly that she had 100 dresses, all lined up. All lined up means all the dresses were arranged one after another in a neat manner. Then her thin lips drew together in silence. Then she kept quiet. What are they like? All silk, I bet, said Peggy. Yeah, all silk. All colors. Velvet too? Yeah, velvet too. Then the Peggy asked what they were like, and Venda said all were silk. Also Peggy added whether she had all the colors and velvet dress too. And Vanda also said she had all the colors and velvet dresses too. 100 dresses, Vanda would repeat stolidly. Stolidly means not showing any feeling. So Vanda would repeat without any hesitation, without any feeling. She would say that she had 100 dresses, all lined up in my closet. The closet means cupboard. Then they'd let her go. And then, before she had gone very far, they couldn't help bursting into shrieks and peals of laughter. Then they would allow her to go. Before she had gone very far, they would laugh, they would burst laughing at her exaggeration. Why do you think they laughed at her? Because they knew that it was not true. And also they knew that she did not have 100 dresses. 100 dresses? Obviously, the only dress Vanda had was the blue one she wore every day. And because Vanda was wearing only one dress, that too the faded blue one. So it was not true. So when she had 100 dresses, why should she wear only one dress? That was their question. That's why they laughed at her. So why did she say she had 100? What a story. How many shoes did you say you had? 60 pairs, all lined up in my closet. So they asked questions to themselves why she had to say that she had 100 dresses. Because they knew that she did not have 100 dresses. Also, they knew it was a story. When they asked her how many shoes she had, and she would say she had 60 pairs of shoes, and she would say all lined up in her closet. Cries of exaggerated politeness greeted this, all alike. Oh no, every pair is different. When they asked in exaggerated politeness whether all were alike, she would say every pair was different. All colors, all lined up. She also would say, and she had all colors of shoes and all lined up in her closet. Peggy, who had thought up this game, and Maddie, her inseparable friend, were always the last to leave. So the Peggy was the one who started this game, and her friend Maddie and these two girls were the last persons to leave the place. Finally, Evander would move up the street, her eyes dull and her mouth closed, hitching her left shoulder every now and then in a funny way she had, finishing the walk to school alone. And finally, Vanda would walk into the street with her eyes dull and her mouth closed, hitching her left shoulder every now and then. Hitching means lift up and jerk. So she would lift her shoulder up and jerking it, and she would walk. That is her mannerism. So that would be very funny to see. And children laughed at her because this is also one of the reason. And she would walk to school alone. She would reach school alone. Peggy was not really cruel. She protected small children from bullies. And she was not really cruel, and she was a kind hearted person. and because she protected the small children from the other children who would come and bully the small children, and she used to help the small children. And she cried for hours if she saw any animal mistreated, and she loved the animals too, and she would cry for long hours, many hours, and if she see any animal mistreated. If anybody had said to her, don't you think that is a cruel way to treat Vanda? And she would have been very surprised if anybody asked her why she treated Vanda in a cruel way, and she would be surprised. And cruel? Why did the girl say she had 100 dresses? Anybody could tell that that was a lie, and she would justify her point that she was not cruel because, and she asked them why she had to say that she had 100 dresses, because everybody knew that that was a lie, and why she should lie. So that was her question. So that way she justifies her that she was not cruel, and she wasn't just an ordinary person, else why did she have a name like that? Also she said that, and she was not an ordinary person, and why should she have such a name, and a Petronsky, a big name and a funny name. Anyway, they never made her cry. So this is the authoress says, okay, these words are told by authoress, and they means here these girls, they never made her cry. Her means Vanda Petronsky. As for Maddie, this business of asking Vanda every day how many dresses and how many hats and how many this and that she had was bothering her. So Maddie did not like the game of asking Vanda every day how many dresses and how many hats she had, all that, and she didn't like the way she was being treated. Maddie was poor herself. She usually wore somebody's hand-me-down clothes. So because Maddie was also a poor girl, so she usually used to wear somebody's hand-me-down clothes. Hand-me-down means old clothes. Handed down by someone else. So some rich people, if their dress becomes small or little faded, they would give to somebody those who are in need of it. So thank goodness she did not live up on Bohin's Heights or have a funny name, and she feels happy that she didn't live up on the Bohin Heights, or she did not have a funny name like Vanda.